or energy, rather. I call it energy. Other people call it Jesus. Some call it Buddha. Whatever your thing is, but it's knowing yourself. So, this is according to tinybuddha.com. Let me make sure I read that right. Yeah, tinybooty.com. Tiny booties need love too. Anyway, tinybuddha.com. This is a quote from Karen Moaning. The most confused we ever get is when we try to convince our heads of something that we know in our hearts is a lie. It's, and then the article goes on to say, it's painful and stressful to feel like you're living a lie, like you're hiding how you really feel, saying what you think other people want to hear, and doing things you don't actually want to do just because you think you're supposed to. But sometimes we don't recognize we're doing this. We just know we feel off or something feels wrong, and we're not sure how to change it. To make things even worse, we learn to compare our accomplishments and progress, often at things we don't even really care about, to those of everyone around us. So we learn it's more important to appear successful in relation to others than to feel excited or fulfilled within ourselves. That's just a short, at the end it says, if you also value authenticity and freedom over conformity and approval, perhaps this will be useful to you. You know you're being your true self if. So I just read some of the article up. I'll skip spots. But if you want to check it out, tinybuddha.com. How to know you're being true with yourself. All right, number 1, you're honest with yourself about what you think, feel, want, and need. You understand that if you have to be honest with yourself, you understand that you have to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with anyone else. This means you can make space in your life to connect with yourself, perhaps through meditation, journaling, or time in nature. This also means you face the harsh realities you may be tempted to avoid. You're self-aware when faced with hard choices, like whether or not to leave a relationship that doesn't feel right, so you can get to the root of your fear. You might not always do this right away or easily, but you're willing to ask yourself the tough questions most of us spend our lives avoiding. Why am I doing this? What am I getting from this? And what would serve me better? Number 2, you freely share your thoughts and feelings. Even if you're afraid of judgment or tempted to lie, just keep the peace. You push yourself to speak up when you have something that needs to be said. You got to do that. I'm a big advocate of that. Maybe, too much. But anyway. And you refuse to stuff your feelings down to just make other people feel comfortable. You're willing to risk feeling vulnerable and embarrassed because you know that your feelings are valid and that sharing them is key to healing what's hurting or fixing what isn't wrong. Yes, do that. Be real. Jump out. You know what? You're going to hurt people's feelings. What's worse? You going through a bunch of shit you don't want to go through. And I feel like this is very important for people to realize. You have to speak up. You got to let people know that you have feelings, and there's nothing wrong. They might try to make your feelings feel like you're invalid. But what I do know is being passive aggressive, tiptoeing, or just bottling it in is no way to live your life, and you're going to be unhappy. So speak up. Number 3, you honor your needs and say no to requests that conflict with them. You know what you need to feel physically, mentally, emotionally balanced, and you prioritize those things, even if this means saying no to other people. Sure, you might make some sacrifices, but you understand it's not selfish to honor your needs and make them a priority. You also know your needs don't have to look like anyone else's. It's irrelevant to you if someone else can function on 4 hours of sleep, work around the clock, or pack their schedule with social engagements. You do what's right for you and take good care of yourself because you recognize you're the only one who can. That shit hit me, man. Like that hit me right in the gut. Like, that's so important. I can't stress that enough. I always go to this Will Smith quote. You got to be happy for you. You got to live for you. Sometimes saying no is not being selfish. It's preserving your peace. I probably say no to things too much. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to be more adventurous and get out there. But I know me. I know ultimately I can't make somebody happy if I'm not happy. So I got to know what to say no to, and you do too. Number 4, some people like you, some people don't, and you're okay with that. Though you may wish at times you could please everyone because it feels a lot safer to receive validation than a disapproval, you understand that being disliked by some is a natural byproduct of being genuine. This doesn't mean you justify being rude and disrespectful because, hey, you're just being yourself. It just means you know you're not for everyone. You'd rather be disliked for who you are than liked for who you're not. And you understand the only way to find your tribe is to weed out the ones who belong in someone else's. Yeah. I all this stuff, man, I'm realizing that. I'm realizing there's a select few of people that I like to be around, and I'm around those people. I'm okay with that. I'm okay that people don't like me. A lot of people don't like me. They say it a lot. But that's fine. I can't say there's many people that I don't like, but I know there's people that don't like me, and that's because I probably am too honest. Well, that's not fair to say. I'm probably sure I exhibit some toxic behaviors, that people aren't cool with. So I don't know, but either way, if you're not a match, you're not a match, and you should be around people who like you. Oh, all right, number 5, that's what it says. You surround yourself with people who respect and support you just as you are. You understand that people around you affect you, so you surround yourself with people who respect and support you, which motivates you to continue being true to yourself. You may have people in your life who don't do these things, but if you do, you understand their issues, which you are just that, their issues. And you set boundaries with them so that they don't get in your head and convince you there's something wrong with you or your choices. That's very important for growth because you don't know which direction or how high, or even for failure, that's important because you need to be able to fail and or succeed on your own merit and have the space to do both of those things. And if you cater yourself to somebody else's perception of life, you'll never be happy. So if you're doing these things, you're being true to yourself. Number 6. You focus more on values than what society deems acceptable. You've read the script for a socially acceptable life, climb the corporate ladder, have a lavish wedding, buy a big house, and make some babies, but you're seriously questioned whether this is right for you. Maybe it is, but if you go this route, it's because this plan aligns you with your own values, not because it's what you're supposed to do. You know your values are your compass in life, and that they change over time. So you check in with yourself regularly to be sure you're living a life that doesn't just look good on paper, but also feels good to you, good in your heart. I had to learn that the hard way. Sorry for the ums. If you listen to the podcast, you know I had a tough time a few years back, and that's because I was just letting people define success to me. I was a stay-at-home dad. I was broke, wasn't making money, didn't have my own anything. And that's not looked good in our society. Me being a man, that's kind of frowned upon. I think it's getting better now. There are more stay-at-home dads. I'm no longer that. But I don't feel bad about that. Success is my son's on the honor roll. He's a 5-star athlete, good-looking kid, polite. All the teachers and coaches rave about him. So I feel I had a good hand in it. No, don't get me wrong. He has a great mother, great grandparents, but I was there. I was with him. And those, as everybody knows, those 0 to about 3, 4, those are really good, big years to be in your child's life. So that was success to me. And now I'm behind, but I can focus on me now that he's older. And again, like I said, that's a success to me. So number 7, you listen to your intuition and trust that you know what's best for yourself. You not only hear the voice inside that says, nope, not right for you, you trust it. Because you've spent a lot of time learning to distinguish between the voice of truth and fear. You recognize the difference between holding yourself back and waiting for what feels right. Yeah, that's a good one. I think that kind of explains itself. Moving on. You do what feels right for you, even if that means risking approval from the people around you. See, a lot of these have the same tint. Like, pretty much just do you for, time's sake. Number 9, you allow yourself to change your mind if you recognize you made a choice that wasn't right for you. All right, let's read this one. You may feel embarrassed to admit you're changing directions, but you do it anyway because you'd rather risk being judged than accept the reality that just plain feels wrong for you. Whether it's a move that you realize you made for the wrong reasons, a job that isn't what you expected, or commitment you know you can't honor in good conscience, you find the courage to say, this isn't right, so I'm going to make another change. Sometimes you got to pull that parachute. Now, don't confuse that with quitting. Like, stuff is hard, and sometimes, not even sometimes, anything worth having is going to be hard. But you know in your heart. You know in your heart whether a relationship, a job, a friend is right for you. Whatever the situation. And you have to be true to yourself in knowing that. And then you have to make the proper decision. Now, we're going to all stick around too long, leave too early. It happens. Life is hard. We're going to make mistakes. But those mistakes, I think, don't hurt as much when you know you did the right thing for you. And lastly, number 10, you allow yourself to evolve and let go of what you've outgrown. Oh man, this is a big one. This is a big one. I'm gonna read it. This is probably the hardest one of all because it's not just about being true to yourself. It's also about letting go. It's about recognizing when something has run its course and being brave enough to end a chapter. Even if you don't know yet what's coming next. Even if the void feels dark and scary. But you recognize that the void can also feel light and thrilling. The empty space isn't always a bad thing because it's the breeding ground for new possibilities for fulfillment, excitement, passion, and joy. And you're more interested in seeing who else you can be and what else you can do than languishing forever in a comfortable life that now feels like someone else's. Number 10 is the most important one. You allow yourself to evolve and let go of what you've outgrown. Sadly, I've outgrown Los Angeles. I've outgrown the parties. Don't get me wrong. I love a good party. But I feel like I've grown into this family man that just loves being around his kid and coaching his friends and small town life. I've outgrown the city and I'm all about the small town life. But I'm fine with that. My friends like to make fun of me sometimes and say, "Oh man, you're a mountain man," and I'm cool with that. I don't think that's a problem. It's okay to outgrow things. It's okay to want different than what your circle wants. I still love my friends the same. I'm sure they still love me, and we'll get up when we get up. But I know they're in different parts of their lives than I am. my age group tends to skew higher now. I'm in my mid-30s. I hang out with 40 and 50-year-olds. We doing the whole dad barbecue thing now. And that's okay. It's okay to outgrow a job. It's okay to outgrow a person. What's not okay is being dishonest about it. Okay, those were signs you're being true to yourself. Where we at? How much time we got? Oh, we're almost hitting 30 minutes. I was going to keep, because I got to go to work today, keep this short. And by the time you've heard this, I'll probably edit it like a bunch. By the way, back to that. I'm having fun doing it. I miss editing. To the outgrow thing, like I, if you know me like that, I used to be into music, and getting this editing software just makes me want to get back into that. Like, I know what I love to do, and you guys have helped me figure it out. I just want to entertain, man. I just want to entertain, and I'm loving this. Again, thank you for rocking with me. Oh, and I think my Twitter is Dotmaste. DOTMASTE. I'm never on Twitter, but I'll figure that stuff out and get back to you guys so we can connect. What else? think I'm going to wrap it up here real soon. Just want to tell you guys a story. So, I was